just doing a little bit of streaming, testing out an idea, or I guess elaborating on an idea that I want to just stream it. If anyone hops into the live feed, then welcome to the chat. If not, then welcome to the non-recorded version or the non-live version. I can't use my words today. I'm a little tired, got off of work, but don't mind me. I'm going to get into the main idea, which is having a warm-up, or having a warm-up like practice. And when I say warm-up, I really more so mean practicing all the things that you already know and just further solidifying those things. So for example, that would include the basics, like just the buttons, having all of those warmed up, understanding the spacing of you only have to do like 5 to 10 hitting at full ranges. So that take 10 seconds of your time to do like each finger, each finger, each button, so to speak. Do each one at a time. It doesn't have to put a lot of attention to it. If you've done it already once, you understand it. If you're good at it, it shouldn't take that long. If it's taking you a long time, that means it's probably something that you need to actually practice a little bit more before you move on to more advanced things. Otherwise, you're building a very unsturdy foundation. So, that said, go through the simple things. And also, if you guys haven't already, and you're trying to learn Street Fighter, and you're trying to take it serious, please go check out Geef's Gym. I have his books, and it's way easier. You don't have to come up with your own exercises and stuff. They're already right there, and they isolate each important area of Street Fighter that you could think of. So take all the work out of it and just go check it out either on Reddit. He has the ebook if you want the book. I think he even has a physical version of the book if you want like an actual be like a martial artist learning some stuff out of a book sort of thing. If that's your thing, get your Shenmue on, go for it. But I'm pretty sure he has that too. That aside, warm-ups for me, like I said before, is just solidifying everything that you know. So on that note, if you're taking a long time, work on that a little bit more before you move on. So anywho, so in one of them, I'll go over some of them right now just so you guys know in Geef's Gym. But basically, understanding the range of your character. So normally what I would do when I was starting off with a new character is I would go into the cubes. I wish I had picked it this time, but I don't feel like going back. So I'll just explain the idea. You guys need to test it out for yourself. But basically, going in at max range and trying to get that button. I was able to look at the grid in the background and really line up. So I would look at a lot of key points. So I played Fong and I practiced this with Fong. I also did this with Balrog, where you look at the lines to just to line you up. So you want to do something like this. Okay, this is missing. So look at where you are. This is pretty close because you can obviously tell my character, when his animation is going, is making contact or merging with that other character. So his actual model, his character model, is within range, but his hitbox is not. So basically, I just look at the lines. I maybe have to take another tiny step forward. I'm going to just hit the controller a little bit. A little bit more. Right on there. So, I'll get to that range. Get like right in front of that range. And then basically just look at the lines and see where he is. So I'd look at his head, I'd look at his fists, or whatever extends the farthest out. Usually the hands are. Then also the feet, and then also his midsection. He has a cape on in this one, so it's a little bit harder. But with his other outfit, I don't think he has that like long cape. But basically, you look at the mid area, draw a line from the middle of where his feet are all the way up. Look for those key lines. And basically just drawing an image of how close he is in your head and burning that image of that range with his attack, into that range. And then, when you're first starting off, you have those lines, you can just walk back to those lines. Practice aiming at those lines. And while you're aiming at those lines, just, do the button, look at the character, look at the animation, look how close you have to get. And then after you get that, once you're good at like lining up with those lines pretty much, you just do it 10 times in a row without fail. You should know where those lines are. So if you're going too far, before you even hit the button, you should already know that. That's also working on your reflexes because you're trying to press the button as soon as you get to that point. On that note, you do have to pay attention to when the character moves. This is just what I do. Everyone has their own different process. So I'm explaining one deep dive of one warm-up within a whole big area of warm-ups, but the actual time invested is not that long if you just quantify it. You know, do it 5 times in a row, do it 10 times in a row. The way you can test your skill is how many can you do in a row. You want to get 5, at least 5 consecutively, and then you can move on. But if you don't, you know, you mess up, you get to 2 and you mess up, that means you can do an average of 2. Get that to 5, get that to an average of 5, then up that goal to an average of 10. If you want to go past that, more power to you. 10 is at least good enough and enough time, you know, each time to warm up. So you do that with every button, then you can do your animations, your special moves. Something I've been toying with recently is doing the special move as slow as I can. So with the charge move, I'm going to turn my buttons on so you can see those. But that's my wrong buttons here. But I try to do the inputs. I don't know if you can hear my stick, but you can. There's a pretty big window of time for when you do the first input, which is your directional button, your directional inputs, to your kick button. There's a long series of time that you can do, starting from the forward to the down to the forward. You can stretch that out pretty far. The reason that's important is because we tend to panic when we're actually fighting, and since we're panicking so bad, we're trying to do that move as fast as possible. We're trying to get it out as fast as possible. Not many people try to do things slowly when they're panicking because they're not being as rhythmic with their motions. Their breathing is going to be a lot more shallow. That affects how you move. So you practice doing it as slow as possible. Your chances of actually executing it in a high stress situation is a lot more likely. It's not going to be 100% always, but you can get it up to the 90s. So doing it as slow as possible. Even his charge moves, just understanding how long it takes from the back to the forward can be very helpful, because a lot of times you just try to get the charge move out, pressing forward way too fast, or we mess up our input because we're trying to go forward but we wind up jumping. I'm not beyond that skill yet. Sometimes I've done that, or sometimes I'll crouch and it doesn't come out right. So I've been slowing it down, going as slow as I can. You know, if I can do it as slow as it can, if I'm doing it as slow as can be done, then I should definitely be able to do it a lot quicker. It's the same thing in martial arts. You learn to move slowly. Yeah, I'll be in a minute. But so those are just some examples of what I'm thinking about. I gotta step out for a little bit, but I'll leave you guys with that thought, and then I might hop on just to practice a little bit later.